This one's come, they've got a problem with men. Promiscuous.
Leave the church, and Lord must be delivered. Else!
TB Joshua told me personally, every 2,000 years, God sends a savior. Christ's tenure is over. That he is the next person in line now.
I went to one of the disciples. Does he touch you inappropriately? She jumped and said, no. He's my father. Even if he touches me, even if he hugs me, I know that he is my father. You would confide in someone before you know it. Meeting.
Once you hear bell for meeting, everybody starts shaking. Who knows what is going to happen now?
And we have the disciple meetings at night for reporting. You would just see people running. So when you see people running, when you see disciples running, you just run and you follow where they're running to. You would just run.
Discipleship meetings, they filled me with a sense of doom.
You are welcome to this another episode of this movie. Some of you that have watched the previous one, you have seen through the testimonies of the people that spoke. Those that have been closer to TB Joshua, and many people that have been under his ministry for many years. They spoke a lot of things that they have seen, heard, and handled. I was not there, and I'm not trying to paint him black, but I just want to be on the middle line. What I am showing you in this video is based on what people have spoken concerning TB Joshua. There have been a lot of controversies online, even over so many social media platforms, where people are, some are saying that he's a good man, some are saying he's a bad man, some are saying a lot of things concerning TB Joshua. But what can you say about this man of God? Watch this video. If you have not watched the previous one, you can click or go through my channel. You will see it there. You can watch it so that you get full understanding of what I am saying. Make sure you like this video, and whatever you know about this man of God called TB Joshua, you can drop your comment below this video on the comment section on YouTube. Make sure you share this video to as many as you can to help people that have not known about this secret. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also click the notification bell so that you can get all our videos that are coming out. Many of our videos have been on this channel, some about the end time signs, some about the end of the world, some about the coming of the Lord. So you can go through our channel, feel free to watch the video and then share it. God bless you.
If there's a plan for you, when you come to that meeting, you won't be able to defend yourself. Shut up! Bye! Keep quiet! What do you want to say? Do you want to argue with Papa? Do you want to argue with Daddy?
Man of God, please. Oh, please help me.
That's me speaking.
What are the things you used to do?
I'm stubborn, I'm proud. I need forgiveness, please, everybody, please. You all know me, but I've changed.
I've been laid flat on the floor. My skirt was lifted up and I was just naked. He hit me with that horse whip.
He will ask you lie down on the floor. He will use it. Baba, Baba. their blood. He beat you without mercy.
Many a times I have been punished with beatings. You are at his mercy. You are at his mercy.
I remember her being in a state of emotional turmoil. No one is ever in that top position the whole time. That's the cycle. You're built up and broken down.
Look, don't show any sympathy for this boy.
TB Joshua liked to humiliate people. He humiliates people so much. One day, I called him. I said, Daddy, why are you so angry like this? He laughed. He said, I know what I'm doing. It will put fear in the disciples.
He was really violent. We didn't speak about these things. There was no safe place. There was no friend. There was nobody you could go to and say, oh my God, this happened. I saw this. You'd be terrified. He made everybody your enemy and you everybody else's enemy.
I know what it is to be poor, and I also know what it is to have more than enough. Your school fees from primary to university, I'm ready.
TB Joshua has double face. The face on Emmanuel TV and the real face.
You are no more a poor lady again. 1 million naira for you.
My boss is so far, God.
When you finish university, you want to have something to do. Okay, don't worry. We'll make sure we get you established.
God had told him that he must show other people the right way to live. He started having massive events for people that had got disabilities, wheelchair-bound people. He'd give them rice, he'd give them food. There was like this massive show of generosity.
We're going to put the first tents up on this flat area. We're going to put communities inside, children, old people.
$10,000 from Prophet TB Joshua and Emmanuel TV.
His shield was his message. This mass outworking of charity to cover who he really was.
Nothing is as strong as love, spoken from the heart. I love you.
It was very difficult to watch this man preach every Sunday. Topics about love and about mercy, they felt very strange coming from his lips. I stared myself in the mirror a lot of the times, and maybe I do look like him, maybe. For as long as I can remember, I have been raised as TB Joshua's daughter.
I knew the child, Ajoke, right from birth.
She's his actual daughter, his biological daughter, with another woman outside of wedlock.
He didn't seem to like her very much. She was like kind of labeled the black sheep of the family.
I was in primary school, was made to move to the disciples' room. I didn't volunteer to be a disciple, I was made to join.
Ajoke grew inside the synagogue, like an outcast.
I think he wanted to keep her a secret. I don't think he wanted anyone to know who she was. The message about Ajoke was that she had terrible evil spirits that needed to be driven out. There was a time in the disciples' meetings, he said that people could beat her. Anyone in the female dormitory could just hit her. And I saw people just walking in, just slapping her as they walked past.
Ajoke, little thing, you see somebody slap her.
There was a particular time that I was very tired. I'd slept a little bit too much.
So he started like shouting at her to get up, to get up, to get up. And there was another like disciple there who basically took her and took her to the shower and whipped her with an electrical cord and then turned the hot water on.
put my head right on the hot water, I was screaming at the top of my voice, and I just let the water run on my head for a very long time. We're talking about years and years of abuse, consistent abuse that wasn't ending.
He hated her, and he punished her for being born. Her existence was probably the biggest threat to his reputation.
I couldn't even have an identity. That kind of pain cannot be put into words. I felt like, maybe I really don't deserve to be alive.
What's her fault? What has that girl done? It pains me. She was still very young that time. Can you imagine how heartless we were?
Things like that, it's scary to talk about. It's really shameful. Like that I witnessed that and I didn't do anything to help her.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what she thought about the rest of us.
The disciples were both brainwashed and enablers. Everybody was just acting based on commands like zombies. Nobody was questioning anything. They were beyond fanatics. Where does your conscience come? How far can your conscience go without some form of accountability, without some form of truth? How far?
I think what's really hard to understand, even for myself, is how you can have someone who's sitting here with a sound mind now, narrating events that happened that are so atrocious, didn't do anything to stop them. Why didn't you, Ray, stop what you know what was going on? Why didn't you stop it? It was a culture, we become numb to it, it was normal. You've got people abusing who are abused. He took people who were good, caring, kind, lovely people, and he turned them into monsters.
There was a time when Joshua called me into his office and asked me, "Do you think I'm a monster?" What Joshua said to me about what he was doing to me was that he could see into my future, that I was going to lead a life of promiscuity, and that he had to do what he was doing for my salvation.
He was telling me that, I'm your father and I'm delivering you. We went into his room and I stood there and he said, "Off your clothes." So I removed my clothes and then he just pointed. So I lied down and then he raped me. He broke my virginity. I was screaming and he was whispering in my ear that you should stop acting like a baby. Better shut up. You want to make noise? You want people to hear? I felt like there was a beast. Like this beast. I was 17 years old. I was underage.
When he come back from the service, he kept forcing himself on me. He assured me God was not upset. The more I made him happy, God will be happy with me.
He grabbed me and he held me very close to him, and he literally then pushed me down to the bed and he got on me.
I was still so shocked. I was still bleeding. He spit on the floor and he held my hands and he looked straight into my eyes and said, "I can see you are my child now. Don't betray me."
You were absolutely trapped because you were there for salvation and he was the only one who could give you salvation. And I had told myself, no one else will ever want you. And there is no home for you. And I just knew, you just tell yourself, This is my life. I have no alternative.
Look, each time you'd be called, each time they would say, Daddy's calling you. Hey man, the bottom line is you'd have to go there. You would have to just put your feelings aside and just go there.
Look at the screen of your television right now.
Somebody who is housemaid impregnated this girl.
Oh, the boy that was helping me, he raped him, and I reported
Forget about rape. Nobody raped her. Okay, she's a tempter. That spirit of tempting. You say rape. You hear her say she's flesh. So let's cast the spirit out of her. Okay?
He was a sexual predator. He was a ritualist. TB Joshua asked me to find virgins for him, to bring young girls into disciple fold. In the midnight, this person will be called into his bedroom so that he could disvirgin them. When those girls come out, he usually take all the bed sheets and everything, he pack them and take them to the prayer mountain.
It's very important for me to speak to the world. I am using it as a platform of confession. What I was doing then was against God.
I remember one day TB Joshua, he called for me. He allowed me on the road. We went so far. There was a prayer hut I had never seen before.
So in that room is our duty to make sure that we own a certain incense there. If he's going to enter there, that place must be filled with smoke.
We do normally have our meetings in the night. He trusts me with the assignment he's giving me.
It's just candles everywhere, pictures.
All the disciples' pictures, we pour it on the floor. His own picture is not there. His wife picture is not there. It's only the disciples.
He will wear a red garment, plain red. The garment is long down to his ankle. And he will hold a sword in his hand. Those pictures, he will place the sword directly on the face. It will be pierced through and it will be pinned down there.
They are in bondage, spiritually and physically. This is what you have done to people. Ilé ayé gbóná mọ́ wọn. Wọn mọ nǹkan tán lè ṣe mọ́ wọn mọ bí tán lọ. Wọ́n wà ní àhámọ́.
You just move around this prayer room and you move in an anti-clockwise way.
Holding this sword, going around, oh Lord, forgive us, oh Lord, forgive us, oh Lord, forgive us. Have mercy on us, have mercy on us.
I've never seen this kind of thing before. Everything about his prayer room is photos. People's photo. And I can tell you, they are mostly ladies.
What he did was all intentional. He was doing all those sexual activities for something spiritual.
Satan knows everything that people cannot know. TB Joshua is not any man of God. He's a man of evil.
There was a system in there that he used to abuse these women. He's the one that crafted the building of his apartment. He designed it. The whole building was just designed to keep secret. Multiple doors, multiple entries and exits. The staircase you can use to get to his 5-story was like 4. I call a lady, prophet wants to see you. He will tell you the specific staircase that this person should come.
He would always tell you which entrance to take, which door to get into.
That you can ask the ladies to come through any of the door, so people don't see them.
He would always ask you when you come, did anybody see you? You'd be like, no, sir. Then he would rape me again. It was a process, a very nasty cycle.
We couldn't see it right under our nose. He designed a system for deceiving all of us disciples.
A lot of women were being abused by this man. I had no idea. I thought I was the only one.
I didn't know that that thing had happened to anybody else.
They were all in the same system.
This is a system whereby you have nobody to talk to. And there was nothing I could do.
We, the 5-story builders, are the ones covering him. These are children of 16, 17 years. He kept all of us in slavery. Total, absolute slavery.
Almost every day, TB Joshua have girls in his room.
If I'm going to count in a week, seeing these things like 4 to 5 times in a week.
Every week?
Yes, every week.
Rape became like a normal, terrifying thing that he would do. It's like you are an animal being slaughtered.
He would be calling girls in one after the other. I stayed there almost 14 years. They will be in thousands.
Watch your screen. Watch your screen. You are going to deliver a baby boy. In the mighty name of Jesus.
We used to film women giving birth live. Somebody used to paint a picture that he loves children, but behind the closed doors, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
I had 3 abortions at a synagogue. And from speaking to other women, I'm not the only one.
If any of us got pregnant, he said, you cannot betray the man of God. We have to do something about it. Women that he rapes, he forces them into abortion. I never had a choice whether I could keep a potential child or not. I felt like I didn't own my body.
You know it. You skip your first period, you skip your second period, and you have to talk. It would all done in secrecy. You'd be taken by one of these elder moms to this clinic of his.
I witnessed a lot of abortions. Lots of abortions. It can't be counted. They started doing it inside the synagogue. There's a place they call medical department.
We went out through the back door of his office. We went downstairs.
There's an area that visitors would never see. You're given a concoction to drink, you get sick, or they put these metal pieces in your vagina and they extract whatever, and you don't know whether they're pulling out your womb or something's going wrong.
She was squeezing my stomach and I had to push all those things. He was saying, out, out, out.
Sometimes things go wrong. One of them almost died inside the synagogue.
These were backdoor medical treatments that we were going through. It could have killed us.
I saw how they suffered. I saw how they suffered. There were times I would go to the penthouse. I would be looking over to the main road. I'll be crying. I was crying. I was crying for them.
Sometimes you'd find yourself singing on stage at church, and people will think you're crying because the Holy Spirit is there, but in actual fact, you're dead inside.
The first time I met him, it looked helpful, it looked loving, not knowing that behind that was a sadist, a psychopath. And I wanted to be connected to God. That's why I stayed there. That's why I keep trying my very best.
The God I was introduced to is evil. He's diabolic because this is the same God that would sleep with us. This is the same God that would beat us up. This is the same God that would manipulate us. You have no idea of what I went through.
Every time I was beaten up, every time I was humiliated, it just reminded me that there was something wrong with that system. I saw female disciples going up to his room. They were away, they were going away for hours. I was hearing things, oh, this happened to me, oh, he tried sleeping with me. Too many people were saying the same thing. Accounts, first-hand of people who had experienced sexual abuse.
She got to know who he was, and she could not manage it quietly. She escalated it.
I couldn't take it anymore. I walked directly into his office and I went off. I shouted at the top of my voice, "Why are you doing all of this? Why are you hurting all of these women? You're using this woman. You're sleeping with this woman." I had lost every iota of fear for this man. He was shocked. He was beyond shocked and he couldn't hide it. He tried to, stare me down, but I was looking at his eyes.
He got stirred up, claiming innocence to the disciples. When he's angry, it's like he can kill. He was the first person that started hitting her, then other people joined. He was saying, "Can you imagine, see what he's saying about me?" Even as much as they were hitting her, beating her, she was still saying the same thing she was saying. "You are having an affair with all these women here." She said it plainly to him.
Disciples dragged me out of the office. I was put in a room totally isolated from the rest of the church.
He would lock her up in a room for months. I'm not telling you weeks, so months.
I wonder how I lived through that time because they were hitting me with belts, chains. I couldn't even stand up for days after this beating. I couldn't take a shower. He was trying so hard to stop people from listening to me. He just felt threatened by the fact that I knew the things that was happening.
Ajoke was bold enough to confront him in front of his disciples. I see her as a hero. To look at him and tell him who he is. She was brave.
This child could see what we couldn't see and wouldn't yield to the lies and was punished for it.
He created an image of an untouchable being, of a perfect being. But I was looking through those things. I was seeing a man that was very vulnerable, that was very afraid of the truth. He was very afraid that someone would speak up, could turn around and make him answer to those things that he had done. Everything was a keg of gunpowder, and it could have gone off in one moment.
The families were lied to. He bought the whole system.
How do you stand up to a man who has got a list of presidents in his pocket?
Just continue to watch Emmanuel TV.
TB Joshua preaches forgiveness, he doesn't forgive. They shot at the back of the vehicle. Bah, 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 bah.
He sent them to kill me.
Threatened to kill me. Everywhere I turned to was like war.
You are welcome to Restoration Time. Don't forget to subscribe.